Hello and welcome to ET Garage. Today's video is going to be about installing some custom length spark plugs and some wire looms. Alright, like I was saying, today's video is going to be about installing some center bolt wire looms. These are from Mr. Gasket, and these have the separators and everything. This is basically to dress up the car and get the spark plug wires better organized. I also have a new set of spark plug wires here. These are MSD superconductors. These are not cheap. These are, well, they say lowest resistance and the highest EMI suppression. Personally, I care more about the highest EMI suppression than I do the low resistance. The factory wires are fine for a street-driven car. The resistance that those have, I forgot what those are, but they're a lot higher than this. And the HEI ignition, unless you're going really high RPM or you have a really high compression or boost, then you need all the spark you can get. But for a street engine, stock wires, OEM replacement wires, and the HEI distributor is fine. These spark plug wires do come, like the spark plug in is, I'll go in more into it later, but the spark plug wires, the spark plug ends are already done, and then it comes with the ends for the distributor cap, and that's where you cut your length and all that. They come with the crimping tool, which I already have one, and then they come with these nifty things so you can mark each spark plug wire which cylinder it goes to. And of course the instructions. Yeah, I already took this stuff out of the box. But these Mr. Gasket wire looms, which aren't cheap by the way, I thought about making my own and fabbing them up, and I just said the heck with it. These I like, sort of, but I don't like this part here. I thought about cutting out, and I may do that at a later date. For now, we're just going to go and install these, get the wires in. I also have all these wire separators. These are aluminum ones, Summit brand, and then I have these plastic ones from Taylor. Of course, plastic ones I like, but if you get them close to the exhaust, they're going to melt. So the aluminum ones won't. We'll go into more detail. Let me move the camera around. I'll show you what I got right now. Alright, hopefully you can see this real good, but right now I just have a set of OEM replacement wires from AutoZone. There's nothing wrong. These are good wires, except that they're pre-cut. And never have I had a set of pre-cut wires that fit right. I mean, they fit, but they're usually too long. And they end up flopping all over the place. And you don't want that. You want them all nice and neat. And so basically I just want to replace them to clean it up. If I were to leave them the way they are, they'd be fine. It's better to keep them neat and organized. And they say you're supposed to keep your spark plug wires spaced so far apart and not crisscross and all that. But the reality is I never ever had a problem. Imagine if I had like super high ignition or something, super high powerful ignition, it might be a problem. I think that comes from the old days. When the spark plug wires maybe didn't have the EMI capabilities that modern spark plugs have, or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. But it also helps to have a cheat sheet like this. And basically, this one's kind of beat up, but you can get these off the internet. And this is for a small block Chevy, and it shows the firing order. And of course, the cylinders. So it makes it easier to run your wires and all that stuff. Like this one here, like a small block Chevy, it goes like this: 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2, 1. Doesn't have to be in that exact spot. As long as your rotor points to number 1, where you're going to put your number 1 spark plug when number 1 cylinder is at top dead center. For instance, if you want, you can put the rotor pointing over here and start 1 here and just go 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. As long as you follow that same fire order, and as long as you get your timing right and all that stuff, the actual clocking isn't as critical. I'm going to leave that distributor right where it is. I was thinking of moving it so it matches this, but it's not important. As long as I can route the spark plugs in a good way, that's all that matters. So I think the first thing I'll do is just get rid of all these spark plug wires and install the looms. I do have number 1 marked on the distributor cap. I don't know if you can see it here, but that's number 1. So that's all I need to know is number 1. I have the sheet, the cheat sheet, and I can just, from number 1, follow them around when I install the wires. But like I said, for now, I just want to get the wire looms installed. So let's go back over to the bench, open that up, and take a closer look at it. All right, let's open this up. All right, here we go. Got it open, and it comes with this little warning. I don't know what this has to do with the wire loops and all that stuff, but it says, important note, we recommend Mr. Gasket part number 2842G PTFE tape or equivalent on all threaded areas of fuel and oil fittings. This will ensure a positive seal and prevent unwanted leaks. It has nothing to do with spark plug wires, but I guess they stuck it in there. Really don't see any instructions. Let me get rid of this. Now, if you look, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box where I got these. And if you look, they have all these mounted, all these wire separators mounted on this side, like this. That is the wrong way to do it. These are going to go to the valve covers like this, and like that, 2 holes, and then the connectors go out that way. So we're going to install these first. Let me grab a screwdriver. All right, there it is. This is assembled. This first one. Let me move the camera around and show you where this is going, or how I'm going to mount it to the valve cover. All right, I'm getting ready to install these, and ran into a problem, and it's called space. The problem on the C4 Corvette, this isn't going to work. I mean, I can make it work, and I'm going to make it work. But the way it works right now, like on my exhaust, on the C4 Corvette, whether it's the factory exhaust or headers like I have, you have a pipe that usually comes up over here, the valve cover, and that's where your EGR. I have mine blocked off, but it's still attached to the header, and that is in the way of the number 4 loom. Now I can modify this, and I could take this off and snake it behind it. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. And just not use these number 4 on the end here. The other side, that shouldn't be a problem. So let me think what I'm going to do. If I'm going to take this off, this plastic wire separator, and see if I can snake it back there. If I can, fine. If not, I might have to modify it and cut it. I really don't want to do that. It looks like it might be my only remorse, so to speak, or direction. I obviously don't want to take the headers off and modify the headers. I mean, I could do that, and I'm starting to wish I did. But yeah, this is going to be a problem. So now you can't mount them. I mean, I could maybe mount them that way, and then put these this way and have the wires come up and across. I wouldn't really like that. Yeah, I wouldn't like that at all if I did that. I'd have to move this, but that's no biggie. Yeah, I don't think I'd like that. I really want them down there. So let me see what I can do. Okay, I ended up cutting this off. I thought about just cutting this off and I'd be able to slide it back down there, but even if I did that, I would not be able to mount the number 4 plastic wire separator. I just wouldn't have the room. So I'm going to get these 2 screws off and mount it. Alright, ran into another problem that I did not foresee. And that is, when you put these screws in, unscrew that, there is this big gap here underneath it. Therefore, it's not going to work. I'd have to put a aluminum spacer under there, fabricate up an aluminum spacer, or yeah, I mean, I could put like a rubber grommet there or something, because you can't have this open. You need that sealed. You need your crankcase sealed. The only air that should be coming in is through your PVC hose. So that is not going to work. I need to come up with another solution for now. Also, I am going to need to cut this back a little bit more. It's still hitting up against that pipe. If I realized that before I cut this, I wouldn't have cut it. I think I might have just either sold these or sent them back. Let me put these back on for now and we'll come up with another solution. I thought I'd bring this up before somebody says something, and they're going to say, well, you mount them like this. You know, I mean, I could mount them like this, except there's still no room back here to do that. And I quite frankly wouldn't like them like that. Because then you'd have to come up over the top for the wires. These are not designed to bolt this way. They do make ones that are like that bolt to the side of the head. These are not designed that way, and that would work if they were, but not these. There's no way to mount them that way. These holes will not match any holes on the side of the cylinder head, and they won't clear the side of the valve cover. You need to make spacers. So far I am not happy with these. Alright, for now I just went and mounted the other side, and I still have the problem of that gap under there. I'm also going to need to use longer bolts, so this isn't going to work. And also, if you look, I don't know if you can see back in this corner here, it's really tight where I'm going to be running the spark plug wires. I might just go ahead and cut that off, just like I did the other side, and just not use it on the end. So far, I am not happy. Fabbing up a set of aluminum spacers to go under here to fill that gap is no problem, and getting longer screws really isn't a problem. But right at this moment, I am not happy. For an L98 and a C4 Corvette, I do not recommend these wire looms. They're gonna, when I get done with them, they'll be good. They'll be better than what I have, but I am gonna have to modify them. And if you have the headers with the plumbing for the pollution controls for the air pump, that creates a little bit more of a clearance, makes things a little more tighter. Yeah, and these don't mount, and then if anyone wants to leave a comment that, oh, you turn them around and mount them the other way, they don't. And you're still going to have space under there if you mount them, like say flip them over and mount them that way. And if you, yeah, pretty much any way you mount them, you're going to have problems. These are not designed to mount to the side of the head. Like I said, they do make ones like that. And with these aftermarket heads that I have, these trick flows, there's no holes there for them anyway. So you can't use that. So I gotta have to step back here and think before I go any further. These aren't cheap either, by the way. So if you buy a set and you plan on modifying them, keep that in mind. At this time, I'm also noticing the way these are cut. Yeah, let me get them back off and I'll give you a closer up look. These are going to need a lot of trimming, so hold on. Let me get that off of there and we'll take it back over to the bench and I'll show you other things I don't like about these. All right, I didn't realize this until I bolted it on, but this is poor quality. Like this one here, they're supposed to be brushed aluminum. This one is brushed aluminum. This one is not. They never finished it, and I don't know if you can see. I can see where like these little, where it was punched out and left those little marks. They never finished this off. They didn't brush it, and they didn't finish it, and you can see like scrapes and machine marks on here. This isn't from me. This is how it came out of the box. If I didn't already cut this one, I would return it. I am going to go on Jig's website and leave a negative review if they allow it, because you know how when it comes to reviews, they don't allow it. However, my review will be here on my YouTube channel. Now, I was hoping to get these installed, nice, simple, and easy, and get the wires cut and put in, nice, quick, and easy, and that's not going to happen. I do not want to cut these wires to length until I get a proper wire loom, because you need to get the wire loom in place first in order to cut the proper route them and do the proper length. Otherwise, you're going to have improper length wires. You either got to buy another set or cut them and crimp them again. I do not want to do that. I wish I noticed this sooner, but I think I would have returned this. So, Mr. Gasket and Company, wire bracket, 87 and up small block Chevy for center bolt valve covers. Do not buy these. Okay, they're not right. I don't know what other ones for center bolt valve covers are like, but these are not right. These might work better with the stamped steel ones, but you're still going to have some type of a space there because the stamped steel ones have those raised ridges, finned ridges on them too. So you're still going to have to make a space under here, and you're going to need longer screws. So as expensive as these were, I got junk. So do not go out and buy these. I am pretty aggravated right now. I am going to end the video here and tell you don't buy them. Even if you have a hot rod where you have plenty of room and you don't need to cut these, don't buy them. Like this one here isn't finished correctly. And if you do buy them, you're going to need 2 longer center screws, and you're going to need to make spacers to seal up that space. You don't want to leave that open. You're going to get if you don't have a PVC, if you have a PVC system, it's going to suck in air and depress around this and through those holes. And if you just run in breathers, this is just going to create another breather problem where the oil, which isn't baffled around these holes, is going to end underneath the valve cover. It's going to end up coming out all over your valve covers. So I recommend that you do not use these and find another solution for the center bolt valve cover wire looms. I think I am still going to use these, but I am going to modify them. I'm going to probably also cut this side, and I don't know if I'm going to finish it and put a brush finish, or maybe I'll paint these black. I don't like chrome ones. Yeah. Chrome is great on a hot rod, you know, where you have a lot of chrome, an open hot rod like a T-bucket or something, and lots of other hot rods. But on my car, I prefer the blacked out look. At the moment, I am disappointed in this product and frustrated. Yeah, right. Sorry about that. I was hoping this would be good for all of us. It is good for you if you're thinking about buying them, because now you know not to. Not unless you're into fabrication and all that stuff. If you're looking for an easy bolt-on wire loom, these are not it. Okay. I am going to end the video here. Everybody have a better day than I am, and God bless.